Energy sources, the pros and cons. Written by David L. Dreer. Focus question. What impact does the production of energy have on Earth's environment? The production of energy on Earth affects Earth by making climate change, air and water pollution, habitat destruction, and depletion of resources. But also, human production of energy can also make some positive impacts by making cleaner environments and have more jobs to people. Words to know. Energy, hydroelectric, environmentalists, pollutions, fossil fuels, sediments, global turbine. Tables of contents. The endless need for energy. 4. Fossil fuels. 6. Hydroelectricity power. 10. Solar energy. 14. Nuclear power. 18. Looking to the future. 20. Glossary 24. Index 24. The endless need for energy. The United States is a modern society. Like all modern societies, it uses a lot of energy. Scientists define energy as the ability to do work. Many kinds of things can be called. Getting an automobile to move down a road or an airplane to fly is work. And so is producing electricity for running the machinery in a factory. The energy used by the United States and other modern societies comes from many sources. Much of it comes from the burning of fossil fuels, such as coal and gasoline. Other energy comes from the power of flowing water, from the light of the sun, the wind, and from splitting the atoms. All energy sources have their pros and cons. There are good points and there are bad points. Modern societies have been making many decisions about how best to produce energy. The needs of society have been balanced against the need to protect the environment. These choices are not always easy to make. Fossil fuels. Fossil fuels, coal, oil, natural gas, are leading energy sources around the world. They're called fossil fuels because they're formed from the remains of plants and animals that died in million years ago. Over time, great heat and pressure underground changes the remaining into material we use as fuel. About 85% of energy used each year in the United States comes from fossil fuels. Coal is burned in many power plants to produce electricity. Fuels made from oil, such as gasoline, diesel, fuel, and jet fuel, powers all cars, trucks, and airplanes. Most homes use natural gas to provide powers for stoves and water heaters. How oil forms. Marine plants and animals die and sink to the ocean floor. They mix with dirt and sand to form a sediment layer. Time passes, more layers are added. Pressure builds, and our buried plants, animals, material changes to corrosion, while the sediment forms into sedimentary rock. More time, more layers, and more pressure change the corrosion to oil, which begins to rise through tiny holes in the sedimentary rock. Oil rises, it hits rock and tank passes through. Oil rigs drill through the rock to pump out the collected oil. One of the main advantages of fossil fuels is that they are abundant, found in many places in large amounts. In addition, they contain a lot of usable energy. Coal is especially abundant. The United States have enough coal to last another 200 or 300 years. A special advantage of natural gas is that it burns very cleanly. The natural gas burns, it produces mostly carbon dioxide and water vapor. Oil's main advantage is that it burns efficiently, meaning that a little is wasted in the change to energy. Also, refining processes that produce gasoline, diesel fuel, produce other petroleum products used in crayons, bubblegum, eyeglasses, and even artificial heart valves. Con. All fossil fuels have essentially non-renewable energy sources because nature cannot create enough to keep it with the demand. Many experts think that the world's oil well will be empty in a few decades, and even before then, oil supply will be too small to meet global demands. Also, fossil fuels, except for natural gas, produce pollutants. Cars, factories, and motor power plants release harmful chemicals into the air. Since fossil fuels are burned, air pollution will continue to be a problem. Another problem is called the greenhouse effect. Gases released from the burning fossil fuel trap more heat in the Earth's atmosphere. That would trap naturally. This heating of Earth's atmosphere is called global warming. Scientists think carbon dioxide contributes most to worsening the greenhouse effect, so even natural gas adds to the problem. Hydroelectric power. Water is widely known to produce electricity. You might wonder how electricity can be produced by water. The answer is building dams. A dam is a huge white wall, usually made of concrete. It is built across a river to hold back river's flow. River's water then fills up a large area behind the dam, forming a lake or reservoir. Water from the lake is released through the bottom of the dam. The water moves very fast. It passes through big machines called turbines. Fan-like blades inside the turbines spin when water rushes through them. The turbines are connected to other machines called generators, make them spin too. Inside a generator, shafts surrounded by giant magnets. All around the shaft magnets are a huge coil of wire. When the turbine spins, the shaft and magnets of the generators. They move electrons in the coil of wire. The movement of these electrons create electric currents. Electricity makes dams called hydroelectricity power. Hydro means prefix, first part of a word. That means water. Generators inside a dam. How a dam works. Water from the reservoir flows in the pedestal. As the water rushes downward, it turns the blade over the turbine before emptying to the river. Reservoir, dam, pedestal, turbine, generator, power line. Pro. Dams produce a great deal of needed energy. There are more than 2,000 hydroelectricity dams in the United States. They produce about 10% of the nation's electricity. Hydroelectric dams produce about 20% of the world's electricity. Dams have many other uses too. They prevent flooding by storing the water from heavy rain and snowmelt, and gradually releasing it later. Dams also create many opportunities for recreation, such as boating and fishing in the lake they create. In addition, the lakes provide water for homes and industry as well as provide water for farmers to irrigate the crop during drier times of the year. Con. Flood prevention is good for people, but not so good for the environment. Rivers are supposed to flood. Flooding produces sediments, which is a mixture of gravel, sand, and topsoil. Sediment is deposited by floods, keeping soil rich in farmlands located near rivers. When a river is dammed, it cannot be renewed. The soil and the land around it. Dams also block the route of fish that swim up and down rivers. In the U.S. Pacific Northwest, dams have been a serious problem for salmon. Every 3 to 5 years, salmon swims from the ocean up the rivers to the birthplace to lay eggs. Dams make it difficult for salmon to swim up and down those rivers. As a result, the salmon population has severely declined in the past 100 years. Solar energy. Sunrise carries huge amounts of energy. You can feel the sun's energy from sunlight around your skin in a summer day. To capture the sun's energy, scientists have to develop solar cells called photovoltaic cells. These cells convert sunlight to electricity. When sunlight hits the solar cell, the cell absorbs the light and energy. Particles in the solar cell move fast, and the movement of these particles create electricity. Some places, large panels of solar cells harvest sunshine to make electricity for homes and businesses. Solar cells have been placed on cars and applicants as well too. A solar heat collects uses of the sun's energy to heat water. These solar heat collectors are often placed on rooftops. Water circulates through the pipe and panels. Sun radiant energy heats the water. The heated water pumps into a building through more pipes. The heat leaves the water and heats the inside of buildings. Then their cool water returns to the rooftop to be heated again.